consultants, and we help to um, deliver cost-effective buildings and developments for commercial real estate developers. So we work with the developers and we help them to reduce their construction costs. We help them to figure out what is the best way to design and build large-scale commercial projects. Then a few years ago, I decided, I was like, okay, I've been in this space for a long time and I want to personally be investing into these kinds of assets. And what's crazy is that for most of my journey, I didn't know that I could. So I started my journey literally helping investors into these, but I thought it was only for the uber rich. Like our clients, our investors were all those major banks and insurance companies. So I just thought these were the kinds of products for them. And I feel really silly now because it never even occurred to me that like everyday people like you and I can also be a part of these. So once I kind of had that mindset shift and that realization, I've gotten super passionate about just talking about that, like raising that awareness for everyone. And as I've been sharing over the last handful of years, I've opened up more about like what it is I'm doing, what I've been doing over the last 18 years. Like a lot of people in my network have come to me and they've been like, hey, I see that you're now investing into this or you're talking about this. I've always been interested. I've never known, or whatever. So my journey has evolved to where now I'm very much in joy and I'm passionate, as are my incredible partners here, about like educating people and raising awareness around multifamily investments. Um, and that's where Opal Equity comes in. So a couple of years ago, we partnered, we came together and we said, we want to go do big things. We want to be focused on multifamily. And the way we decided to do that is the strategy we're going to go over today, which is called the fund of funds. So I'm going to hold and pause on that because we're going to get into that. Carolyn's story beautifully highlights like the power of that strategy and why we specifically are focused on that. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton. And I know you're all here for Carolyn and to hear her incredible story. So if you can give her a little love in the chat on the front end, let's go ahead and pass it off to her.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carly and Christy. And thank you all. Thank you all. Oh my gosh, how many people do we have here? We have 84 and counting coming up in the chat. We are on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for all the engagement and the support. We've been all over social media, everywhere, posting about this, and we're so happy you're here on sharing your time with us on a Friday. I am Carolyn Briley. I am here in DFW, Texas. I think we have a lot of Texas people in the chat as well. Hello, family. Thank you for being here. I have been in real estate since 2021. I entered in, I'm approaching our official 5-year anniversary of no W-2, burn the boats, all the things. It will be in April. It's actually 2 days before my birthday. We made this decision to just go full blown into this. So it was a very overwhelming and exciting experience almost 5 years ago. And I cannot believe we're sitting here today and what we're about to go over today, too. So I am here raising 2 daughters with my husband in Texas. Been in real estate since 2021, did not know one single lick cent of education about real estate and just dove straight in. Obviously, we dabbled in single family first. I am a partner in 600 units today, as of 2025, just a little over 600. Who wants to do that? Who wants to have just a little over 600, maybe just over little over 700, 800 and beyond in just a few years? Throw an emoji or a one in the chat, a fire in the chat, whatever you feel like, and come along with us. So I'm a partner in the 600 units. I'm part of a 350 multi-million portfolio across multifamily and single family, built utilizing creative finance. And that was just a door opening for us to how we can implement creative finance into single family and commercial real estate as well. And the way I love to build wealth, it is emphasized in sustainability, alignment, and capital integrity, right? So I share all that to not highlight just the 600 units. I know that feels like a big number. It is a big number, but this didn't happen the way most people assume that it did. And the most important year wasn't when I crossed that 600 units last year. It was when I went from the 43 units to 430 and 100x my scaling in just 12 months. So you'll see a few photos here of my story. You'll see some very amazing, important people alongside my partners. And it's just all been a journey, and I'm happy to include them in my chapters along the way as I write my book, my story. So sorry, I'm lagging here. So in August of 2022, this was just a year into my real estate journey. This is when I first started in multifamily. You'll see me there with a 30 unit. That's my husband, my two daughters. You'll see Pace there. Just a few months prior to August in 2022, I had gone to a Clever Summit conference in Las Vegas. Carly was there. Throw one in the chat if anybody was there in that room in 2022, because it's just so funny to see how many people are in that room and how our lives have changed since then.
I
So
didn't
anyway,
even
I was
know
at
you
that.
then.
Huh?
I didn't even know you then. We were
I
in
know
the
we didn't
same
even know each
room.
other. We didn't even know each other, but we were in the same room. And then who would have thought almost 4 years later we would have been partners? That's just, it's mind blowing. It's all about putting yourself in the room, right? And investing in yourself. So all that to say, I saw Vina Jetty speak on stage, and she was this powerhouse woman. She is a powerhouse, and she was speaking about the power of multifamily and scaling and what to do and how to get to it. And I was just then starting to wrap my head around multifamily, and that speech that she delivered just sent me over the moon. I was like, okay, I'm doubling down. I'm going home. I'm going all in on multifamily. And what was I doing? I was wearing all the hats, right? I was calling brokers, negotiating deals, learning the ropes, figuring out what all these multifamily acronyms and jargon and all the things. Does anybody relate to that? Like trying to figure out these commercial real estate terms and like just trying to educate yourself and not feel like a little bit of a fool and failing forward in that. So that was me back in 2022. All that to say, I still will be I'm a student through and through and through. There's always more for me to learn and grow. But that was me almost 4 years ago. I was just going nuts. I was trying to learn underwriting and getting a grasp on like, what do these numbers mean? Because even though I am not a numbers girl, I need to understand what the underwriting looks like on deals like this. These are essential. These are a business. They are running a business, and we need to know these numbers to be effective communicators to our investors and all the things, right? So raise your hand or throw an emoji in the chat if you are someone that is not an underwriter, would rather be is allergic to a spreadsheet, all the things, and you would rather be more of the relationship person. You would rather be out networking and building those strong networks with people, right? So that was me. So again, I was wearing all the hats, doing all these things. I was trying to be the operator, deal finder, decision maker all at once. And don't get me wrong, it worked, because look, we had the 30 unit, as you see on the left here. And then we got that on seller finance. It was like a 3% interest rate, a 50-year note. It was mind blowing, because we're like, oh my God, this is possible. Who wouldn't want a 30 unit all in one complex versus 30 units spread out across multiple states in the United States or wherever you might be investing? For one, I am a work smarter, not harder lady. And I would rather all of my units be in one single spot, taken care of by a management team and all the things, right? So then I'm like, okay, this worked. This seller finance, all the things worked. We went down on this method again. And a few months later, what is it? August, September, October, November, within 3-4 months, we had another 40 unit under contract and acquired by seller finance. I think this one was like 5% for 50 years. Similar terms. So then, oh my gosh, okay, this is crazy. So then I'm like, okay, I'm wearing all the hats. This method worked, but I am just feeling kind of burnt out. I'm feeling like I don't have the energy to keep up with all these things. I don't want to be on the phone all day. I don't want to be negotiating deals and all of these things and sourcing those deals. Do you think it's easy for me to go out and source and find a 432 unit and compete against someone like a Vina Jetty, who can slide into a DM or call a broker really quick and have an instant relationship and just get that deal under contract, right? So I'm like competing against the big players, the high level operators in this game. And I'm like, okay, there has to be a more strategic way to scale than carrying this all myself and wearing all of these hats. Can we agree? Is that what we want to do here? We want to like work smarter, not harder, all the things. Yes, Sabrina, I love it. So yeah, as you see on the left, in August of 2023, this was when that big jump happened of 100xing my scaling and getting into a 432 unit, because I started dialing in on relationships. I started understanding, where do I actually belong inside this ecosystem, this huge ecosystem of multifamily and commercial real estate, where everywhere you look just feels so daunting and you can't really decide what role you want to take on. Well, I knew that it wasn't going to be operations for me. It wasn't going to be the asset management. It wasn't going to be being in the weeds every single day, taking maintenance calls in the middle of the night or whatever that might be. It was building relationships. So I know that kind of sounds funny. I'm like, okay, wait, how did you do this with relationships? What do you mean? So it was like, I'm a deeply relational person by nature. Like, I love to have a one-on-one with people. I love to understand their mission, their goals. What do they want to do? Resonate with them, all the things. And so that's where I saw my strength and doubled down on that and said, okay, how can I turn this, my relationship building strengths, into a scalable strategy? So I realized, okay, this is when the shift happened. I implemented the fund of funds structure in commercial real estate. Throw a 1 in the chat if you've heard of a fund of funds, or throw a 2 if you've not heard about it. Love it. Okay. I'm seeing a few of you say 111. Okay, we have a couple 2s. Don't worry. The beauty of this structure is that it applies to newbies all the way to seasoned investors. Like, there is room for everyone at the table with this structure, including me. When I entered into this fund of funds strategy to do this scaling, I was new to this. Even though I had a little bit of real estate experience with a multifamily prior, it was new to me. I was learning a new strategy inside the multifamily space. So again, you can do it too. This strategy, I'm going to say this again. Do you think this strategy involved me going out and sourcing a 432 unit deal or 168 unit deal and then bringing it to an operator maybe? Do you think I went out and did that and then brought it in? Yes or no? Okay. Okay. I love it. Yes. Chip, what's the strategy called? Fund of funds. A fund of funds strategy. We're going to break it down what that really means for you. So again, I did not go out and source these deals. I didn't do that. I said goodbye to that. I'm not doing that anymore. I am doubling down on building relationships with operators. I'm showing up in aligned rooms. I'm investing in myself. I met Carly at a mastermind in 2022. And I've been in these rooms. I've been in these rooms and getting to know these people and building my journey along the way. You'll see a whole bunch of people on this screen of who have been a part of my journey ever since entering into multifamily. You'll see Vina, you'll see Pace, you'll see Jerry Norton, my partners, people in different asset classes that have poured into me and given me so much knowledge and value along the way. And it's because why? It's because I did the same thing that you're doing right now and showing up inside the rooms and learning and absorbing and taking aligned action for yourself, because you know you want something different. You know you want something else, and you're like right at the cusp. We are in a new year, everyone. We are in 2026. I'm still trying to not write 2025, but we are in 2026, and this is fresh energy. I know everyone said that might sound cliche to say, but like, this is fresh energy coming into this year. I can feel it in my bones. I feel like a lot of you do too. Like, something is different. 2025, we have said goodbye. We are saying goodbye to that rough year. Did anybody have a rough 2025? You don't have to be that vulnerable, but I think a few of us did. Oh yeah. Chip says yes, yes, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot, whether it was business, personal, family life, whatever. Like we got our butts handed to us a little bit last year, and this is not happening this year. So again, because of these relationships and committing to the relationships at that level, I got opportunities extended to me that I never realized were possible. So I'm going to go through this. This is basically what I did. I went from 43 to 430 in less than 12 months. I stopped calling the brokers. I stopped acquiring deals and being the operator. And I started using relationships, structure, and strategy instead. And that's how I went from that 43 to 430 because I'm using a relationship-led, structurally sound scale. And so this is not how I changed, like the unit count isn't what changed for me. It was how I participated in the ecosystem again. It's how I doubled down on these relationships and said, you know what, I'm going to bring value to a high level operator, someone like Veena Jetty, who has over $1 billion with a B. Do you think they know what they're doing when they have $1 billion in transactions in a specific commercial asset class, like multifamily? Would you rather partner with someone who knows what they're doing and who has over a decade plus experience and bring value to them? Or would you rather go out and source a 430 unit on your own and learn everything from scratch and like have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps to get it done? If you're a work smarter, not harder person like me, you would agree with the former of I'm going to go to someone who knows what they're doing and I'm going to partner with them and I'm going to provide my value. Right. So that is the shift that opened doors. I just could not have access through effort alone. It just placed me in rooms where I've been given so much trust and opportunity. And it's created a lot of growth that feels sustainable for me. And that's really, really something important that I put a lot of energy and intention into is, does this feel aligned for me to do that? If I'm taking on things in business that don't feel aligned, I'm going to feel burnt out. I'm going to feel frustrated. I'm not going to want to do it because it zaps the energy from my soul. And I think I speak for everyone, like, we don't want to be in a business that doesn't feel aligned. This is why I'm in a partnership with these amazing women right here, because we have so much core alignment in our mission and our goals. Do we think very differently and do we have different strengths? Do we have disagreements? Absolutely. But I wouldn't do it with anybody else. I wouldn't do it with anybody else because we all have integrity and ethical intent and all of these alignments in place to take us where we want to go. So again, here's my old path. I'm self-managing and I'm operating. I'm working up to bigger deals. And then on my new path, I'm starting with proximity and learning how the capital moves, and I'm plugging in with experienced operators. And I get to scale my units quickly without adding another job to my shoulders. I'm already a woman, a mom, a wife, a business, and multiple business owners. Like, what more do I need? Do I need another job on my plate? No. So why does this conversation matter? It's because most investors are not stuck because they lack the effort, the energy, the intelligence, the ambition. They're just stuck because they think the scale part requires more deals, all more pressure, personal. Don't get me wrong, you're going to have to sacrifice some time and create space if you want to take the lead in your life and in your business. You have to create room for yourself. We all have the same amount of hours in the day. There will be sacrifice, but it's for the greater good, right? But we're not sacrificing ourselves here to our detriment, to our burnt out existence, right? We don't want to do that. So what we're going to be going over today before I pass it over to Christy, this is not a theory. You've obviously seen my strategy take place and the scale that's happened within the past year and 2 years to get me over 600 units. It's a structure that has allowed me to scale and leaning into what I do best by building relationships and staying aligned, ethical, and protected. So I'm going to leave you with this question before we hop to Christy. is what would change if scale didn't require more effort for you and you're just going in on stronger relationships with a better position. So just sit with that and sit tight and obviously ask your questions along the way. And I'm going to pass it over to Christy.
Can I interject for just 2 seconds? Because
Yes.
I want to call out, I'm going to butcher your name, Alicia. Dick says that's where the why is. Without the why, what's the point? And I want to call that out because to make Alicia, thank you. I want to call that start thinking about what is your why. Like Carolyn's like, what would that look like? But also, why are you doing this? Why do you want those goals? Be thinking about that. Like, what is the transformation that you would get? Why are we doing this? Because entrepreneurship is hard. We don't do this for funsies. There's a deep seated why. And you always go down to the second why. Why, 8 layers deep. So sorry to hijack that part, but I really wanted Alicia, thank you so much for calling that out. That's so true.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so how incredible was Carolyn's story, right? Like, she is such an inspiration. It's so cool. I don't ever get tired of hearing it. And what we want to transition to now is you've heard a bit of the inspiration, you've heard what's possible. Sometimes we just need to get into those rooms, that right room, where you're listening firsthand to someone else who has done this thing, and you realize, I didn't know that was possible. Like, it opens your mind, right? Has anyone had that experience where it's like they get into a room of people that are doing something different or something bigger and like they never thought it could be them? And just hearing that, hearing their story makes them all of a sudden feel like, oh my gosh, that could be me too. Like, why not? Right? Drop a one if you've ever experienced that. So I feel like every time I hear this with Carolyn, like I still feel this way. Okay, we're seeing oh my gosh, so many in the chat. Okay, so you guys understand this. All right, so here's what I want to do now. We've all been inspired, but like, how do we do this ourselves, right? Like, how is you sitting there? What does the strategy look like for you? And what would it look like to actually structure your life and meet your goals this way? Okay. So first of all, we're going to start at the starting point, kind of back where Carolyn was too. Why do most people get stuck in small deals, right? It's for a lot of things. Part of it is the mindset. Even I've struggled with this as well, right? Like the number one thing, and especially in rooms like this, where it's like we're all active, like real estate investors. We are in with like our hands, like finding the deals, doing all this stuff at like maybe the residential level and all of these, different asset classes. And like, so we naturally tend to think that there's just like this one main way to get in, and that's as the operator. And when I'm going to use the word operator throughout this, there's a few terms that are kind of synonymous with this. So I'm going to throw those out there just so that you guys kind of know. And if you've heard these before, hopefully it helps kind of paint the picture a little bit. So we have operator, the active, the active investor, the active partner. That might be the person who's like the management team, right? The GP, general partner. Like these are all things in different ways to talk about them. Sponsor, lead sponsor, like of who this would be, the operator. It just means that you have your hands dirty, you're in the deal, you're doing the actual work, right? Okay, so that's one way. And we're going to talk about how Carolyn actually moved away from that. She started as that and she was like, yeah, this isn't scalable. This is not in alignment. There's a different path. And then she jumped roles. Okay. They're confused. So some people get stuck in those small deals because they're confused about what's legal and what isn't. As you scale into bigger things, you are running into more things where you have to make sure you're compliant, legal, all of that. They don't have the structure in place to bring in a bunch of investors. The bigger you go, the more money that is needed, the more capital is necessary, right? And so as you're doing that, how you do that for a fix and flip is very different than how you do that for a commercial real estate property. So there's different structures in place for investors for those kinds of deals. And some people just never learn about it and realize that. So they get stuck at that small level and they easily could have jumped and started scaling bigger. And one of the most common is they're just overwhelmed. Like they don't know what they don't know and they're not sure the next step and they never make the leap, right? They don't have someone in the room with them. They don't have someone there to help guide them to be like, here's what I did. Here's what you do next, right? And to help you take those steps to work towards that goal. Okay, so here's what we have heard. Like, as we've been educating around this over the last and like sharing our stories, our message, and everything over the last couple of years, here's what we hear a lot. Here's also kind of like my brain dump because I have said the same things. Okay, I don't want to underrate 100 deals. This is actually what I started doing a few years ago when I was like, I want to start investing into multifamily. I immediately went to the mindset of I need to be the operator. I need to find these deals. I underwrote like 75 deals over the course of a few months. And I was like, I hate this. This is awful. Just because I had the skill set, I did it for 5 years. I was like, I don't want to do this. So I was like, I'm not going to do this, right? Here's another one. I said this to myself too in the beginning. I'm scared of saying the wrong thing to investors. So as you're scaling up into these big things, investors are a really big portion of that, right? And that can feel scary if you haven't brought other people, you haven't talked to investors, you haven't had that role or been any part of that. It's really terrifying in the beginning to have those conversations and to know, what do I say? What do I don't say? How do I handle objections? Another very common one, again, I struggled with this too in the beginning, was like, what is my role? Right? Like how would I fit into these deals? Like the ability to figure out what is my value? What am I bringing to the table? What am I contributing to a team and to this? And for that to be the right fit, for some people, they get stuck there, right? Is there anyone here who feels like that's my goal? I want to get into it, but I don't really know exactly like where I would fit into that picture. Like what role, what would I do for that kind of a deal? Drop a one in the chat if that one is you. Okay, I'm seeing a few, Billy, Melissa, Mary, she's saying one. Yeah, there are a lot of those. Okay. And then I don't know how to vet operators. So even if like you're moving past some of these other mindsets, maybe then you're like, oh, how do I even know who is a good fit or what is a good deal and all of that? So, all of these are very common. All that to say, we ourselves have had these same thoughts. We have heard this over and over and over again. Okay. And these are not reasons to stay stuck. All right. So, as Carolyn mentioned earlier, what she switched to when she went from operator and scaled, she was like, I'm taking off the hats. And guess what? All of a sudden, she jumped. And then she jumped again. And she did that because she switched her role. She was not an LP. An LP, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, is a limited partner. That would be a passive investor. That is someone who's the check writer, right? They're the people just in the pure investors from like an everyday person standpoint. Like they're like, I just want my money to go to work. I'm putting money into a deal. So that's an LP. So that is a way to get into commercial real estate. It's very passive, right? You're not doing anything. You're collecting your return to your money's to work. The hybrid role is the fund of funds. You're in between, okay? And it's beautiful because it's acting as kind of an LP and kind of the GP. It's like sitting in the middle where you have a fund and you are the fund manager. You are connecting, you are a bridge between investors and a fantastic opportunity with someone who's super experienced. And you're bridging the gap. You're creating this nice little car that your investors are getting into and driving over into the big deal. Okay. And that gives you two things. That's going to give you, well, a few things. We're going to go over a whole bunch of benefits, but you get paid as part of that with fees. And then you also, as a fund, have a percent of ownership within that larger deal. Okay. So that's why we say it's this middle road between LP and GP, and you're only doing a portion of the work. If you were in GP, you would be wearing all of the hats. There's so much work in the acquisitions, in the closing of that deal, in the management and the ongoing asset management of that deal, the exit of the investors along the way. You're basically saying, cool, you've been doing this for 10 years. You're really good at this. You GP, you operator, you got that. I'm coming over here. I'm just going to connect money is essentially kind of what you're doing. So it's that connection piece of bridging, okay? So you're not running it. You are not the active operator. You're just in charge of your fund and your subset of investors. You could call yourself, there's a few things you could call yourself in this role, okay? So if we're saying I'm not the operator, what you would be saying instead is I have stepped in, I have stepped up. I am now a fund manager. I am a capital raiser. I am a capital partner. So these are all terms, again, we're kind of trying to give you guys a fast track right now of like the muddy multifamily and commercial real estate world, like all the different words that are used. I want to throw a few of them, not for confusion's sake, but just in case like you've heard some of these and it's helping to connect dots because you're like, oh, it's that. So capital partner, capital raising, fund manager, those could all in this sense be used kind of synonymously, okay? Oh, I love that. Kim saying I'm putting that into my mental file. Okay, good. Okay, so just to reiterate, you do not have to become an operator to be scaling in commercial real estate, okay? There are three things you need in this structure, and we're going to go ahead and get into that now. So the very first piece is knowing your role, right? So we talked about that. A lot of us here, a lot of you have like said, I don't know how it'd fit in. And what we're talking about is like kind of this new role that a lot of people don't know about. New in the sense of like it's something that's gained traction over the last handful of years, but the awareness is very low. So there's a huge opportunity out there for people to be stepping in and doing this, right? And so that role is really as the fund manager. You are connecting the investors with the investment through your fund, okay? So capital raiser, capital partner. You have decided to stop trying to do everything. You're like, I don't want to be that operator GP. I don't want to be doing all of the things. That is not me. I'm going to streamline so I can scale and focus on this one thing so I can get into a big deal and then rinse and repeat and do it very quickly. Okay. The other piece of that is getting clear on who you're serving. So not just your role, but like who do you fit with, right? Because by going in the middle like this, you need to be really clear and start to learn like who are the investors I'm bringing in and what's a good fit for them, right? And on the other side, who's the good, really experienced operator, or what are the kind of deals I want to help connect investors into that are really high level, that accomplish all the things that are going to be a great fit for these investors. So there's also that piece, right? So part of it too is a language barrier. And that's why today it might feel, if you're completely brand new into this, hopefully you're not feeling overwhelmed because we're throwing a lot of terms out. And as Carly said, we have a free, a multifamily guide, and I don't even know how many pages this thing is. It's like 20 or 30 pages at least right now. And it's growing constantly, where we have a whole bunch of definitions in there. And we try to put like more synonymous ones like this, where it's like GP, operator, sponsor, like all of these things. So you start to see like what it is. So we'll make sure, remind us if we haven't at the end of this, remind us, and we'll drop a link and you guys can go ahead and go grab that. Because I do feel like that's an important piece. It's just kind of slowly learning the language, right? Okay, so step 2. So you've gotten clear on the role. You're like, yes, this sounds great. Yes, I love what Carolyn did. Yes, I would love to be a fund manager too. Now what? Okay, now is the other side, right? Plugging into the right teams. And by the right team, we mean the best operators. So the strength of this particular strategy of the fund of funds is to pick the right partners. And by right partner, I mean like Carolyn didn't go out there and say, I'm going to partner, I'm going to bring money to someone who's done 2 deals. Okay. That's not how you scale. You scale by going directly to someone. She was like, I'm going to the person who has a decade of experience just in multifamily Class B assets. They look for the same kind of thing. They've gone through multiple market cycles. They have $1 billion with a B in transactions of multifamily. So it's not their first rodeo. Okay. They've made mistakes. They've learned from them. They've gotten better. They've iterated. They've been through things, right? They've delivered consistent returns to investors. They've brought, like, if you're rinsing and repeating deals like this over the course of a decade, then you're doing a lot of things right, right? Those are the people we want to be like, hi, can I grab onto the back? And can I just kind of shoot up along the side of you? But guess what? When you've been in the business for a decade and you have all of these things in place as that high-level operator, there's not a lot of room for someone to just come onto your team and partner with you, right? Like you've got everything ironed out. But there is one place, there's one thing that no matter how big someone gets, that there's always a shortage of. There is always going to be a need for capital. Money, capital, so that they can continue to scale, right? That is the value you bring. And you bring that in a fund to fund structure. So you are the fund manager, you are the connection, the bridge, you are bringing the money, the capital. That is the value as you're building that relationship with that operator. You are giving it a phenomenal experience and phenomenal opportunities to your investors that you yourself would not yet have access to or be able to do, right? Giving them that experience while also building a relationship at the high end, fund to funds. Okay, and I kind of skipped the gun a little bit there, but that's step 3, the fund to funds. Okay, so we had each side piece, like what we're connecting, the actual bridge, that actual connection where you sit, that is your fund. And this specific one is called a fund of funds. Okay, and it is specific strategy that is plugging in to that high level deal and operator. That is what this fund of funds does. Okay, and that is the entire like meat of it and what makes it so powerful. Okay. So it's giving you leverage. Scale is leverage. All right. So we're going to go over a high level and I'm going to show you sort of now a visual of how this flows. I also have another one on the next slide. We won't go there yet, where I'll show you kind of the structure of it a little bit. So you can kind of, hopefully, if you're not following yet, we'll get some clarity here. Okay. So here's how it works. First up, investors, right? So we already talked about that. You as the fund manager, as the capital raiser, you're pulling together investors. You are putting them into your fund. So you have your own fund that you are in charge of, right? You are the GP, the operator of that, where the investors are coming in. Okay. Next step, other piece, you have found this amazing, phenomenal operators deal. Your fund is literally going in, writing one huge check, plugging into that deal as an investor, but like an investor on steroids. Okay. You get, because you are a big fish investor now, you are not just Christy writing a $50,000 or $100,000 check into the deal. You are like fund ABC writing 500,000, $1 million, whatever that is, right? Like that's a bigger fish. If I'm sitting on the other side of that, I want the bigger fish. I want the bigger check. And I'm going to say it's a whole lot easier to raise millions of dollars if I'm getting $1 million checks versus $50,000 checks. There is value in that. So you, fund manager, because you are doing that, I am going to give you extra benefits. I'm going to say this is more worth it to me. I am willing to give you a higher return because you are bringing a higher check. So that is really the beauty and the structure, that the way that we structure fund of funds, to be able to, one, pay ourselves as fund managers, okay? And two, not dilute our investors. And that's a really important point, because some people go out and they try to figure out this strategy on their own and they end up structuring it. And what happens is the investors end up with lower returns because they end up paying fees to the fund manager of the fund of funds that's doing it. And then they also are paying fees directly to the GP, the operating team that's already built into the deal. So they're at a much diluted, lower return had they not, and they could have plugged in directly to the deal. Like, why did they invest with you? So we are very passionate about, at Opal Equity, about preserving that. And so we structure in a way to make sure we're preserving that. And yet we are still getting compensated. And the way we do that is a couple of ways. One, we're getting a direct fee, a benchmark, this is going to vary widely, okay, on the type of deal, who you're working with, how you structure it. But here's just kind of a general benchmark you can use. Per fund that you do, if you're raising around 500,000, you are likely able to structure at least 50,000 in fees, okay? And it might be and you can also potentially do structures where you're building in some upside into that. So that could look anywhere from 50,000 to over 100,000 for raising $500,000. Okay. So there is fees in that. And you're also a percent of the equity position, right? Like your fund is owning a slice of the deal. And I don't know if anyone has ever heard, there's an analogy I've always heard where it's like, would you rather have the whole grape or do you want a slice of the watermelon? Okay, so this strategy, we're not taking the whole grape. The whole grape would be I am an active operator. I'm just taking down this whole deal by myself. There's a 4 unit down the street. I'm gonna buy it myself. I'm gonna keep everything, but I'm doing everything. So I've got my grape. Okay. Now, watermelon is like, here's the big multifamily deal. I'm cool with one little slice because once I slice this watermelon and I put it on my plate next to my grape, which one's bigger? Okay, is the first question. Usually the slice of watermelon is going to be bigger, right?
Spoiler alert.
Even if you get this teeniest little slice, you're like, I have a 0.05% of a watermelon is still going to be bigger than the grape. Number two, how much easier was it to slice the watermelon than it is to take down the entire grape? And that's the real key. Like that's the power and the mindset shift that we had, that it was like, why are we chasing grapes, you guys? Once we get a grape, we then have to hold on to it so tight too, because now we have it for 3 or 5 years while we're doing all the things. We're juggling all of the grape. Like you can only hold so many grapes in one hand, right? At a time. Watermelon, we can keep slice, 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 pile, 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 rinse, repeat, keep going. Okay. So that's the distribution. So that's coming in. You've got money coming into your fund from the parent, from the experienced operator. It's paying your fund. You're able to take fees on it and give your investor returns. That's what we mean by distributions. Distributions, fancy word of meaning like returns that are coming from the operator, from that parent fund, flowing down to you, in which then you're distributing them. Okay. And that's the money to investors. They then get their distributions. Okay, so we're gonna look at something. I hope it doesn't overwhelm them. Hopefully it simplifies. But for those of you that are allergic to like org charts or anything legal, just close your eyes for a quick second. Okay, so this is a fancy way of looking at it. But basically, a fund of funds is sitting where other investors are sitting, but you're just that big fish, right? So it's very simple. We're sitting here, but we're getting ownership, a percent of ownership through here. Okay. So this is just a very fancy structure, but I just want to show like, here's the property. Here we have the very experienced operator. We're not plugging in to just anybody. We are plugging into someone who has a decade of experience that has done it a lot, right? And we're sitting here and bringing it, but we're getting a whole lot of benefits. We get more benefits here as the fund of funds than this investor is getting, right? Because we're the big fish. Okay. So I know that was probably kind of a lot. Drop a 1 if you think you mostly followed that.
Chip has a really great question. I would love, because there is a lot, and I wish that was a good visual. And a lot of people, this is hard to wrap your head around. It was hard for me to wrap my head around. And Chip asks a really good question that I think might help clear up a lot of things.
Can I answer this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's just like riles me up in a good way. So Chip, we love the questions and engagement, and there's no wrong, silly questions. So he asks, are you cold calling and or getting investors in to form the fund, then search for the deal? If so, how are the investors vetting someone who is inexperienced? So number one, we are not cold calling. We are not taking the time to do that. We are going to build a relationship with an operator like a Vina Jetty, like a high-level operator who has been in the game and has years of experience, years of transactions under their belt, right? They already have the deal. When you see this Courts of Bentry photo at the top of this slide, this is a deal that our operator Vina Jetty went and she got this under contract. They negotiated it. They financed it, all the things. They set up the initial structure. And then we came in and said, hey, we want to provide value to you. We're going to be a capital partner, go out and raise capital. We formed our fund, Opal Equity, and said, we have a great investor network that would love to be a part of an opportunity like this, which, by the way, most investors don't really start off getting to invest in institutional quality deals like this. But since we bridge the gap for that, we can now offer that to our investor network. So then your next question is, how are investors vetting someone who who might look inexperienced. So again, it's not inexperienced because you've already taken the time to build relationships with these people. That is experience, whether you believe it or not. Like, you have natural skill sets that you already bring to the table that qualify as experience. If you are already building relationships with your investors and building relationships with high-level operators, that is a massive leverage that is massive leverage. And your investors are going to respect you more because you are creating opportunity for them to plug in and put their money to work. They might not have had that opportunity to go directly to an operator like that or invest with someone at that level. Are we tracking with that? Yes. Throw one in the chat if that's making sense. Love it. Okay, love it, Chip. Great. So everyone's has this like initial overwhelming feeling like, I don't have experience. I don't know. How are investors going to believe in me? All of these things. The beauty of this is that we get to use our operators' experience and deals and transactions and high levelness as leverage. We get to say, hey, we are backed by our operator. They have entrusted in us to be a part of this deal and bring value to you as our investors. And then your investors are going to go, oh, wow, that's incredible. Like, we get to be backed by our operator. It's not like they're in a closet, they don't want anything to do with our name. No, they are amplifying our name and helping us, because who does that benefit? Everybody. It's a win for your investor. It's a win for our fund, Opal Equity, and it's a win for the operator because it is working smarter, not harder. I think that's all I have to say on
And
it right now.
I want to piggyback onto, I'm a visual and an analogy person. So how many of you guys, this is not a call out, are still trying to wrap your head around this? Because I will be the first one to be like, it's a lot. It's a lot still to, okay, good. So I want to make sure before we move on, we fully understand this. So raise your hands if you have questions, because I would love to riff with you guys. So, and if you have this question, the majority of you have questions, and there's no stupid questions, ask them. So we want to make sure there's clarity on this. So here's my visual. You don't have to be a car person to get this visual, but even if you're not a car person, I'll kind of break it down. There's a big race called the F1, Formula One. It's a huge race. It's like where supercars are going. It's like Ferraris and Porsches and all of this stuff. And it is a big deal. That is like the commercial real estate of car races. Okay. Yes. So Becky knows. Hi, Becky. Good to see you. So Becky knows the F1 is like, they're fast cars. They're going quick, right? So let's pretend we all want to be in the F1 race. That is big multifamily deals. Let's be clear here. We're going to shoot you guys straight. This picture on this house, the three of us with Christy's 18 years experience, my experience, and Carolyn's experience, we're going to be honest with you. We couldn't take this down on our own. This Courts at Bentry is the F1 formula race. This is where we want to be. Did you notice how Carolyn's deals that she was into got progressively like nicer and nicer in the quality? Like, this is an A+, maybe not A+. It's an A asset.
B+, yeah.
B+. I shouldn't say that. It's a lot nicer.
It's older.
Yes. So, we knew we wanted to be in the Formula One race, and this is a Ferrari right here. The Courts at Bentry, that Ferrari is going to go fast. So we were like, okay, we want to be in the F1 race. Are we going to go in and hook our trailer to last year's 5-time winner Ferrari? Because we're like, this guy's hundreds of years of Italian engineering. It's won before. It has proven experience. It knows what it's doing. Or am I going to run down to the Honda dealership and buy a stock freaking, I don't know, Honda Civic? Someone last time was like, Carly, there's Hondas in F1. Yeah, but they're not stock from the dealership. It's like a 4-banger cylinder situation. So like, that's also like the grape. So you're like, all right, hey, you over there, do you know how to underwrite deals? Okay, maybe you can come sit in the passenger seat and you can maybe help coach me on this. And then like, all right, well, you in the back, why don't you just get on some cold calls and see if we can like get some nitrous or something to blast us forward. maybe get a few more cylinders. And then first of all, you're getting all these people. You have no experience. You've driven a car before. You have no experience. Everybody in the back seat is like, we have no idea what we're doing. We have not been in commercial deals, but we're going to sit in the back of this four banger and weigh you down. And then the people that have their trailer, I know Ferraris can't hold trailers, but let's pretend they can. What we did is we went and found a Ferrari and we're like, hey girl, hey, we bring you some money to make your Ferrari go faster. And we built a relationship with this person. And they were like, I would love for you to bring some money to make my Ferrari go faster. And in exchange for that, I would also love to, you're a part of the deal. So we're a part of the deal more than if we're just like, remember Christy's like, I'm going to write a $50,000 check. Okay, take your grape and put it in the Honda Civic with your one little $50,000 check. Instead, we're like, we know some people and they have some money and we want to take all of our people and our investors, us, and Opal Equity is the trailer that we're hooking to the back of this Ferrari that's going super fast. And all of our investors are just got little seats. So they're like, we're going to be in the stands, just watching you guys do all the work. We're going to let you guys, and we're just going to be like placing bets and being like, yep, this one, we'll take it. We'll take a check for this round. We'll take a check. So they get quarterly distributions, not monthly. So they're just cashing their check and watching this Ferrari just kill everyone. Meanwhile, this four-banger Honda Civic, loaded down with people that have no freaking idea what they're doing, have never been in an F1 race before, have never done commercial deals before. Surprise, surprise. They might get a deal, but they're going to stay at like, we got 4 units. And then at the end of the race, we get this court sit entry. Does that help clear it up? And if it doesn't, I would love to talk to you because it's a lot. And if it doesn't, raise your hand. Darren, you've got your hand raised. And I just want to make sure everybody gets clear on like how this works. I don't know if you meant to raise your hand, but I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Darren. Do you still have questions?
Hi, Carly. Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So I was in November, I went down to Houston, Texas to the Hero Capital Raise event. And basically the main gist of that was about the fund of funds model. And I've got a gentleman in my other real estate network that he just got a 260 unit under contract in Lansing, Michigan. And I'm trying to figure out for me, like, where do I even start to try to help him raise capital? That he's looking for $6 million on that project. He's got under contract for $12 million with a 2.3x and 5-year exit, and over 20% IRR. So I think it's a very viable project. And then there's additional bonuses that they can apply for from the federal government, I believe, for that project. Anyhow, long story short, I recognize that I have a passion and an interest in capital raising. I've done it before on other projects. And so where do I start? Right? That's my question. Where do I start regarding doing this?
What you've done is you've kind of like gone up to a little bit more in the fast lane because you already know somebody that has a deal, right? And you're like, they just need $6 million. So what you're doing is you're like, hey, you got a deal. It's probably a deal. I'm just going to guess you probably wouldn't have gotten on your own, right? Or could have do it on your own, right? So you've got your Ferrari. You have a Ferrari. What you need is a trailer, which is the fund of fund to connect to that Ferrari. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess, do you know people who have money that would want to invest in this?
Well, yes, I do. But I'm trying to, I guess, figure out how do I could just go generically ask, 20 people that have money, hey, you want to invest in this? But I want to do it well, right? I want to do it professionally. I want to have my ducks in a row enough. He's finishing his PPM today, actually. Okay. And so I want to get clear on what are the first 3 steps that I need to take. And then how do I pitch this initially in a way that's has integrity, has honesty, passes the initial smell test. Those are the things that I'm wanting to learn right out of the gate here, you know?
Love it.
Can I
So,
add-
oh, go ahead, Christy.
We're all like, we love this question. Let's all
Yeah.
answer it.
Well,
Great question.
okay. So I think the first step would actually be, and I might have missed, you might have said in the very beginning, and I might have missed this because
Yeah.
Carly said this is your
Reading
Ferrari,
her
but I
mind.
would back up a second and I would
Mhm.
say you first need to know whether or not this is a Ferrari. So
Mhm.
this person has a deal. Awesome. Sounds like a great opportunity. They're doing the things.
Mhm.
The very first step before you do anything would be vetting this person and this opportunity. How much experience do they have? Because if they have, this is like their third deal, like I'm not downplaying anyone's experience. I'm just saying if you're considering a structure like the fund of funds specifically that we're discussing here, it is very specific to a high level of experience
Okay.
and not just someone who it's like, this is my second or my third deal. I kind of am figuring things out. I'm mostly doing things right, I think, but like, it's like you need to know, is this a Ferrari? Is this a stock Honda Civic? Is it something in between? Like you need a very clear understanding of what that level of experience is and what you're comfortable with, because there are other structures you might want to consider. If it's a Ferrari, then it's like a fund of funds would be, potentially a good fit if that's what they're open to. But if it's not a Ferrari, then it might make more sense that you're like, I need to come and be in the car with you. Because a fund of funds is like not a good structure to like hook on to a Honda Civic, for example. In a
Yeah, so
Honda Civic, you could raise capital, but you want to be in the Honda Civic
Mhm.
as one of the active GPs.
Yep. So that's I really appreciate that perspective because what I do know about this gentleman is when I say fairly new, truth is he's fairly new to the multi-capital or multifamily asset class. He himself has taken down a 48 unit and a 36 unit, and he is partnering with a gal who's a part of a group who's taken down, I believe, 8,400 units total.
Okay.
And so he himself has, I don't know, let's call it, 75, 80 door experience as an operator. And he's partnering with someone who has a lot more experience. Now, is he himself a Ferrari as far as an operator? I'd say no. The gal that he's partnering with, that's a part of a bigger group, is that bigger group likely a Ferrari or close to a Ferrari? Um, I'm learning about that literally in real time. He actually invited him. He's in Michigan. I'm in Detroit at my cousin's today. I invited him to the Detroit meetup, and he and I went there, hung out with Pace and the crew, had a lot of fun, met some great people. And I'm driving up there this afternoon to look at the 260 units and kick the tires before I head back to Chicago this evening. And I'm learning, right? I'm learning as I go. We had dinner after the event the other night, and he shared a little bit more with me about himself and about Katie, his partner, and her experience. And so I'm learning as I go. The answer is I don't think that he himself has the Ferrari experience as an operator, but so I myself joined this REIA group 9 months ago. Learned a ton about underwriting, learned a ton about, we hired a VA, to make thousands of calls for us. We're working 120 leads right now on multifamily all over 4 states. But this one came to me because I have been building a relationship with Janeel, is his name, who's been, aggressively going after multifamily as well. He's in Michigan, and this is in Lansing, Michigan, which is where Michigan State University is. And so I think this thing's got legs. I'm just trying to figure out how to position myself. And I think he is willing to add me to the GP team. But to talk about Ferrari, humbly, I'll say I'm like a Ford Pinto, right? I have
That's
my
worse than a stock. That's like a 3-banger.
I literally, so I'm partnering with David Starr, who's an Owners Club member, and he and I are taking down our very first 4 unit in Milwaukee. We have it under contract with a January 30th close. So I'm just getting into multifamily management. But I'll tell you, a lot of what you said earlier in this call resonates with me because I don't really at this point, I think my highest and best use of my talents, my abilities, my experience, my network is to assist others with capital raise. I'm just so new at it, and I'm such at the beginning of this process that man, I don't even know where to start.
Well, I think thank you by the way for sharing all the insight of your journey, and like this is what it means to be building relationships and taking aligned action and like understanding the questions that you need to be asking. Carly and Christy raised great points of like you need to understand how to vet and go through that process with potential operators. The person that he's partnered with, did you say her name was Sarah, maybe?
Katie,
I'm so sorry. Katie, who has over 8,400 units in experience, that if she's partnered in on this deal, that could have stronger legs. There's a lot of vetting that takes place within that of like how many deal cycles has she gone through, right? Has she gone full cycle on, I would imagine that she has, granted all the units that she has. But those are really key questions to ask because you want to be partnering with those Ferraris that have gone full cycle, that have understood the deal inside and out from acquisition to disposition and everything in between, and have returned on their to their investors, right? They've made good and they've done well with the assets. So again, those are stepping stones for you to be doing over the next couple days as you meet and greet and kick the tires some more. But yes, this is all a part of what our process, not only setting up a fund to fund structure, but knowing the questions to ask and vetting, because it's incredibly important.
I'm
And
going
you
to step
mentioned
in because I'm just going to stop us right here because we're really going down a whole nother path. And wait, you have great questions. But I want to first understand, because you have great questions, but right now I just want to make sure everybody understands how the funds of funds process works. Because we can show you how to do this vetting. We have a vetting framework that we can show you on this. But they are so great with their information, but I think we're kind of just going down a side path.
Okay, sorry about that.
Not at all.
Do not apologize. But we want to be cognizant of your time, and let's definitely talk at the end because we can tie this all together at the end. So, because yes, vetting is so important, but we're kind of I want to make sure everybody understands the full picture of how the funds of funds process works. So
perfect. Yeah, I definitely don't want my questions to sidetrack this webinar in any way.
You're not.
We can talk. Carly and I can
do
talk
this,
more
but it's
later.
gonna because we have a whole vetting framework. We will share it with you. We're happy to share it with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And at the end, what I'll do is we have this like little bitty checklist of how we vet operators, and I'll put that in at the end, and that will answer a lot of questions. It's a checklist. It's a
rating system. Yeah, scorecard.
It's a scorecard. So it's like it's the questions. You can literally open the scorecard. It's free. And we will get with you and make sure that we want to answer your questions. So get the scorecard. At the end, I'll give that to you. I'll give it to everybody. Do you guys all want the scorecard to be like, what are the questions that I ask the Ferrari before I tie my trailer to it? Okay.
That would be awesome.
Okay. And so, Darren, I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to apologize. I just want to keep us on track.
Yep. Thank you.
I'm so happy you asked those questions, though. So
awesome. Love you, girls. You guys are doing awesome. You guys are the bomb.
Thank you, Darren.
Adore you. Thank you for asking those questions. And they were really good questions.
Yeah. And I'll take pictures when I go out there this evening, just as kind of general photos and stuff like that, and then just continue the process. I'll look at the vetting, and this call's already given me all the value I need today. Right?
Perfect.
Like it's just been amazing. Yeah.
That means the world to us.
Thank you.
That's the goal of this.
Yeah. So one of the questions I've seen a couple of people ask that I think is important to clear up before we move on is like, how can we get into your trailer? Like, how can we get in with Opal Equity? And what we're here to tell you is we are, and I'm not like discrediting us by saying this, but like our goal is for you to not get an R trailer. Like what we want is for you to build your own because that's how you're going to scale. Like go connect to your own Ferrari, right? Like if you were to connect into us, we're not doing, well, first of all, there's not an opportunity to do that. You know, we're not looking for like people bring us deals. We're going to get involved in these deals and do this. Like we're like, no, we have operators. We're building like high level operators. We're building relationships with, and we are building fund to funds, raising capital into those and plugging into the high. Like, and that's our strategy. So we can rinse and repeat and scale. Okay. So we are here to show you the framework of this is a trailer that you do yourself and that you are doing independently so that you can scale and do the same thing that we're doing. Does that make sense?
I guess the better question is, because I want to be clear, Opal Equity does two things. We have two main pillars. We do raise capital for Ferraris. We build a trailer to hook to a Ferrari. So we do that. If you want to invest with us, you can. That is one arm that we do. And
as an investor, like that would be
as
a
an
passive investor. You're an accredited
passive
LP.
investor.
Here's
You're
my
not doing
check,
anything but
put it to
sitting
work.
in the stands
Yes.
and cashing checks every quarter and just cheering on your Ferrari. So we do that. But what we want to talk to you about, what we also do, how many of you guys put you want to be in the stands watching from the sidelines and be like, I want to write one $50,000 check, or put a spectator for that one? Is that what that word is? Or two, if you want, who wants to build a trailer to attach to a Ferrari so you can be like, so I'm wondering where you guys are. So a lot of you want to be the builder, and so we also do, and that's kind of, we want to show you. So yes, you are more than welcome to come and sit in the stands and write us $50,000 checks, and you don't do anything but cheer on the trailer and the Ferrari from the sidelines. Or what we like to do is we want to show you guys, because we're not gatekeepers. We're going places and we want to bring people with us. So we also show you guys how we built a trailer. We go to the next slide.
Yep.
You guys are building the Mario Andretti race team.
We are building a Mario Andretti race team.
That's what you're doing.
I love that, Darren. We are.
I'm
Mario
a huge
Andretti.
I'm a huge IndyCar fan, so.
Me too. Will you tell the non-car fans who Mario Andretti is and why he's kind of a big deal?
Probably the number one most famous IndyCar racer and team owner in the world. I think Kurtz is maybe coming up quick, but anyhow, Mario and his whole family, they're a racing dynasty.
Yes, they're kind of a big deal. They're like the trailer that you want to hook yourselves to. They're a big deal. So what we do is, a lot of you guys are like, but I'm not Carolyn. So okay, well, how do I build this trailer? So we have something called the Funds of Funds formula, where we're like, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We have so you don't need that experience to start. You don't need to be an underwriter, an asset manager. So the funds formulas, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm going to deter from the slides because I riff better without slides. So what we have, just go to the next one. So you don't have to have all this. You can build your own trailer. We have the Funds of Funds formula. That's where that comes in. So you can we should change this to have like the lady sitting by herself is like the 4-banger Civic with 8,000 people in the back weighing it down, and nobody has any effing idea what they're doing or how to drive a car. And then, or you have the room. So what Funds and Funds formula does is we're doing stuff. Who wants to learn how to build a trailer the way we built the trailer? So you can take your own trailer, build it nice and beautifully, and then hook it to Mario Andretti's trailer. And so some of you are like, I just want to write checks and cash checks from the stands. If you want to do that, let me know. We'll give you our investor. Maybe you can drop our investor thing. Let us know. When we're raising capital again, we'll call you. But this is for like the Funds of Funds formula. Funds of Funds formula is building that trailer. And it's not half-assing building a trailer with like one axle and you have no idea what you're doing. You are building this trailer so it is going to work well. It's not going to fall apart the minute you take off and go around the first corner. Yes, Alicia, it will be strong if you take it off-road. If this Ferrari cuts off the side and goes into the off-road stuff, yes, cross-country worthy. I love that you guys are getting onto my car analogies. So we have the Funds of Funds formula, and it's to show you how to build that trailer. And everyone's like, oh, well, what? So we're just funneling to you? No, you get to build your own trailer and go alongside. And the reason why we want you to do that, so we've done this before. And I see Lee in the chat, and Lee, well, we call him Lee. Hi, Lilantha. I'm probably butchering your name. Lee in the chat, I'm going to call him Lee so I don't butcher his name anymore. Lee has learned how to build a trailer from us. Thank you for being here, Lee. And Lee, if you don't mind, can I actually bring you up and talk about how we taught you to build your trailer? So Lee is a founding member of Fund of Funds formula. We built this and we're like, we wish we knew how to do this. We wish that someone showed us how to build a trailer, because we were reading instruction manuals and Googling and figuring it out. So Lee, I am going to unmute you and welcome. Do you guys give Lee a huge warm welcome, because Lee is living proof. Round of applause. Lee is living proof. I'm going to bring you up. Hold on just a second. This is a webinar, so I have to do 25 extra steps to bring him up. But welcome, Lee. And he learned how to build his trailer from us. And let's see. I don't want you to mute. I just muted you. Let me bring you up. Can you talk? Oh, here he comes. All right, ask to unmute. This is so clunky, you guys. Lee,
There he is. Oh, good.
Welcome, Lee.
And the big reveal. There he is. Hey, Lee, can you hear us?
Yes.
There he is.
He's here with us.
Lee, how are you today? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to see you. Lee always surprises us every time we're on a Zoom with Lee. Lee is dropping all these new things that he's doing, and he's like, by the way. So Lee, welcome. Thank you for being here with us. Tell us, I want everyone to get to know the amazing Lee that we love. Tell us about you, and who is Lee? Where are you from? What are you doing? Where were you like when you first met Opal Equity and you're like, I guess I'll learn how to build a trailer? What was life like?
So thank you again, guys, for having me. I've been in the real estate for about 16 years now going. And first I did wholesaling, then rehabbing, then flipping, then holding some properties along the way. At one point I had about 46 properties in New York City, those. Then in 2019, I had a life-changing experience. And up to that, I was all about me. That's it. I'm the only guy doing this whole thing, running around like chicken without a head.
Wearing all the hats, trying to be in your Honda Civic.
Exactly. So 2019, I had a life-changing experience. And that's, at that time, I was doing 4 rehabs, and life-changing experience was I had quadruple bypass surgery. So then after that, I was like, then what happened was we went to COVID, everything got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I have $2.7 million in loans out there for profit doing
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sweating. Doctor saying don't stress. I'm like,
You're like, how do I not
yeah,
stress?
how do I not? You know, because all the properties are hard money loans, right? And
Yeah.
in New York City, when you're doing, you know, buying is $600,000, and you have another $100,000, $150,000 out for rehabbing.
Hmm.
So that's, long story short, but to finish the houses, my two kids, my wife went paint, did the flooring, tile work. I showed them, and we finished, we sold. That's when I said, this is not a lone wolf game, it's a
No.
mind shift, and I have to shift. So that's
Mhm.
when I started thinking about multifamily.
Yeah.
So then I got a 6 unit right after. Then after that, I got a 12 unit. Then, laws and things were getting harder and harder in New York City
Hmm.
to do a landlord. And after my surgery, I had huge bill of medical bills to pay too. So I had to liquidate some, and then I started selling properties. So I wanted to do this faster and grow. So I've been following Carly for a while. So then that's when one day in a Zoom, she said, "Oh, guys, we're going to do this thing called funds to funds." I'm like, what? Holy crap. Because I've been going into Zoom calls and people are talking about syndication and this and that, but they're not really telling what is it. I've been like, I want to know, what is this? How do you put people's money together? Because it's not like you're doing one single house. You can
Yes.
ask your uncle or aunt, hey, you want to get in with me and get some money? This is a lot of money. That's when Carly said, we're going to do this thing and show you guys the roadmap, how to put a fund together. That's when I
Mhm.
told Carly, you're my angel.
Yeah.
Literally.
We lovely. We
Literally, I
lovely.
said,
Love that.
and I said, I've been looking for this. So that's when I joined the first, what, year ago we had that?
We did.
Um, uh, Funds to Funds, and learned the whole thing.
And it was
Then,
a live training too. So it wasn't, we're
yeah,
like, here, we just recorded some stuff and go watch this. Like we sat with you guys for a 2 hour,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
small,
For like
intimate
8 weeks
8 weeks, being
every
like,
week.
ask us anything, pick our brain,
Mhm.
lobotomize us.
yeah, yeah. You guys put me in touch with the attorney as well, your attorney.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We did.
Then I came across this behind me, 128 unit in Mississippi. So that's now I have to get people involved to put money together. That's
Mhm.
when Funds
Mhm.
to Fund, the whole thing came to light. Like I started asking the right questions, walking away from people that said, oh, we can do this, we can do that. Then all the structure and the questions that you guys told me, start asking, and a lot of them were red flags. Showed me some red flags that when people said, "Oh, yeah, I can put," okay, where's your money coming from? Oh, they didn't want to tell you where the money's coming from. You know,
Interesting.
You know,
What? We have money. Oh, okay, great. Keep your money. I'm walking away.
we have a
You know,
whole, what he's referring to is we have, I don't want to interrupt you, but we have a whole training on how to vet operators. And that's why I wanted to bring this around for you, Darren, too, because we have an investor vetting framework that we give them. So that's when Lee was like, oh, okay, I'm going to meet with an operator. And didn't you say the other day, you're like, red flag, red flag, red flag. Peace
yeah.
out.
They
Yeah.
they said they want to become a GP and bring in $1 million to the deal. And so me and my partner went. We sat down in their office. I sat in the back. He was talking to them. And the questions that he was asking, I was like, boom, no, boom, no. Then I stayed quiet. Then I told my partner, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for the time. And we'll call you.
Mm-hmm.
And we laughed. And my partner's like, why? I said, A, B, C, D. Did not like. I
Love
don't
it.
care how much money they have.
Mhm.
So did that. Then this one we got, but I turned that into a seller financing deal, and we got the one behind. So the 30% that we have to bring it to the lender, I made the owner carry on second as a 30%. So then recently I told these
Wait, hold on.
ladies
Before you go to that, how many units was that, Lee?
128
128 units in Mississippi,
Mississippi.
right?
Yeah.
So you got that. How many units did you have before the 128?
Right now I have in New York is 6.
So you went from 6 to 128.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Just
then
wanted, I wanted to in a year. Okay. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes. Then also, I've been doing mastermind classes with this mentor who has about, I think, close to 2,000 doors and 4 hotels and all of that. So they've been talking about all these deals and everything. So recently, about 3 weeks ago, in a class, they were mentioning about a asset they are going to acquire. That's when I approached them and said, how about if I start a fund for you? Can I bring capital? So now I'm in the process of setting everything up, using exactly what you guys taught me to wedge into that deal. It's a 480 unit.
You guys, Lee just casually dropped this like 2 days ago on us. And like, by the way, and we're like, wait, what? So you have passed up. You are in the passing lane on Carolyn at this moment. Because how many are you at right now?
We're in I guess in the process of.
In the
'cause he said
process of
he's
getting, because you're not
gonna
there
start-
yet.
Yeah, he's building
We're
the fund of
like-
funds
You guys-
right now.
yes.
And he's like, I'm about to shoot past.
He's pulling
He's
up
about to
on,
cut me
he's coming in
off.
hot.
Right at 600.
no, I love that.
I'm still in the Corolla waving at Caroline.
No,
Next to
You
the
are not in a
Ferrari.
Corolla, my dear.
Can you believe that? Lee, I love this story because it shows us a couple things that you obviously took a massive aligned action and you were willing to do some power moves. It is a big power move to be in a room with an operator and have a deal on the table and walk away and say no, because you know the questions to ask, you know the answers that you should be getting. And you said no. You walked away from that opportunity. And when you do something like that, and I'm speaking for everyone here, myself included, when you walk away from what an opportunity is right in front of you, and it looks all nice and sparkly and shiny, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this. And then you're like, wait, this is just a piece of coal spray painted in gold spray paint, right? Like this is not a good deal. This is not a good fit. And you walk away from it and it's like, oh, then you get served an actual opportunity that is meant for you, that you're aligned with, that you can take your education and implement it. And look where you are. And now you are just saying like, oh, I have built a relationship with another operator who's done hotels, 2,000 plus units, has all this experience. And now I am ready to implement a fund-to-fund structure with them. And I'm in the works of doing that because you know the questions to ask and the actions to take. So Lee is just a phenomenal story. We will never get old. This will never, he's just been an incredible founder and showcasing his experience to all of us, and that you can do it too. Like, this is possible.
It
And
just
now he's
gave me,
surpassing me.
it just gave me confidence and a pathway to pretty much walk away from that table who offered me $1 million for the deal. It just, I knew if I didn't know, I would have like, oh wow, okay, $1 million, who don't, I'm set. But at the same time, you guys taught me personally that, hey, these are the red flags. And it gives me confidence and to get up and walk away from that, because I knew that I was walking away from something really bad.
Yeah, that was going to cost you. It sounds like likely,
Thousand,
yes,
yeah.
$1 million coming in, but that was going to cost you a whole lot more than the $1 million that they were giving you if you were spotting all those red flags, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It probably stopped me from wearing an orange jumpsuit.
That, yes, if
I
you
s-
do things the wrong way,
Yeah.
Orange Jumpsuit City with all of your orange jumpsuit friends, that means you go to federal prison.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Lee, thank you so much. So would it be correct in saying that the funds formula helped you get from
Absolutely.
where you was this helpful at all for you? Was it did it help you get anywhere? Or did you think you did it on your own, which I'm sure you did a lot on your own?
No, my
Good.
own, no. I mean, coming from a different country here, right? I've been here for 36 years, but at the same time, it just gave me huge boost and confidence that I know, okay, if I want to do multifamily, which I want to do and grow,
Yeah.
I have a pathway, a guidance to go. And always these three ladies are, I can send them a text or a call and ask if I have a question even. What do you guys think? Get their opinion.
I love
Yes.
it.
Lee, thank you so much for being here. You
Thank
guys
you for
give
having
Lee
me.
a big thank you. We never get tired of seeing Lee. And I'm sure the next time we're on a phone call with Lee, he's going to be like, by the way, I have 8 bajillion units, because he just casually drops what a big deal he is so nonchalantly. So thank you, Lee. We adore you. We thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and being such a badass.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you so
We
much
can't
for
wait.
giving me the opportunity.
yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
You're
Lee.
amazing.
We'll drop Lee's information in the side chat. You guys should all be connecting with Lee. He is a phenomenal person. I'll go grab one of us will go grab his Blink card or his socials.
I just dropped
Yeah,
his
we dropped
socials, just a few comments up in the chat. Here we go. I'm just going to do it again right there. It's his full name on Instagram and Facebook. So go ahead. I'm sure he'll drop his Blink card in the chat too if you didn't scan it on his QR code. But yes, he's a phenomenal founder, person. Respect his time. He's got a lot going on, all the things, but he has just been a go-giver and an action taker from day one. So super grateful to have him and highlight him. Y'all, are we getting so much value in here? Do we love this? Are we loving this? Drop
Who
some
wants-
emojis. Let's bring some energy back here. I love this. Yes.
Who wants
here.
to be who wants to be like Lee? That's what I want to know.
Who want to be like
Who wants to be like Carolyn? And then who wants to be like Lee, who's like edging on the back of her coming in, ready to do a hard pass on the F1 series?
I don't know about you, but I think, yeah, for me and for Opal Equity as a whole, like nothing is more fulfilling and emotional income. Yeah, I'm like a big feeler. I'm an emotional chaotic mess all the time, but nothing is more fulfilling than getting to witness and share just a slice of that experience with people like Lee, like Donna, like Steven, like Ito, like Lint, like all these people in our Fund of Funds formula who are taking those action steps and being aligned with what they're doing. And now they're like doing major big things and they're like surpassing the teacher, right? Like that is the most fulfilling and gratifying feeling for us, is that we can deliver education, guidance, support in your journey and doing things the right way and asking the right questions and all the things like that, right? So again, with this right formula, the fund of funds formula, you're getting this clear roadmap. You already heard it from Lee, you heard it from our other founders. You're getting the confidence to talk to investors and operators, like Lee was showing, your ability to evaluate operators and deals, structures that make you feel and look professional. Who would want the power to walk away from $1 million? Right? Saying, no, thank you. I love this, but I'm not going to take your $1 million because I spot some red flags, right? That takes a lot. That takes a lot of inner knowing and education and understanding of what you're capable of and what is not aligned with you. And there's just a pathway to multiple deals over time. This is a scalable, repeatable system, right? So you have seen this strategy, and what you do next is going to determine how quickly you're going to scale. Are you going to be like Lee and just casually drop that you're going to be a part of a 482 unit out of the blue at the beginning of January 20? Like, who wants to hit January 2026 with on the ground running and saying, I'm going to be setting up a fund of funds this year, and I'm going to be surpassing over 600 units casually. Okay, cool. Love it. Love it. You can assemble this on your own, or you can step into the room where Lee's been, where Donna's been, where Steven's been, all of our founders that you saw in that picture a while ago. And we walk you through it from start to finish. So again, a funds formula is not going to be for you if you're thinking, I just want to get rich quick. I don't want to be doing all the things. I want opportunities handed to me left and right. I'm a shortcut seeker. I want to press the easy button and I don't want to think about it or take the action, right? If you're going to be allergic to rules or compliance or the accountability that it takes to raise capital with integrity, then this is not going to be for you. You need to understand this inside out so you know how to do it the right way. You want to raise money before you understand the risk. We're not going to be doing that here. And if you're an investor who is looking for the guarantees, the hand-holding, and someone else to think for them, we are here to support you. We are here to break things down and make sure that you understand this and take time with you. But we are not going to be tying your shoelaces for you and making sure your shoes are on the right feet and you're doing the thing. You are a grown up and you are taking grown up responsibility and accountability for yourself, right? So are we all about that? I'm assuming so.
I mean,
Yes,
we'll
yes,
show
yes.
you we'll show you how to tie your shoes.
Yeah,
We'll
show
you how to
shoes.
do this. But once we've shown you how to tie your shoes, that's what she's trying to say.
You
So
better
let's
be
be
off
clear
to
on
the
that.
races after you know how to tie their shoes.
You pump up those tires. And once they're pumped up,
Shoes, tires, cars, we're getting all
We're doing
the
it all.
breakdowns, right? Who was like thinking you would be hearing about Ferraris today in this Zoom? I love it personally.
bring Carly, Will.
But it's Carly Ferrari is her new nickname. So this is for you. Funds formula is for you. If you are an investor who wants the access and proximity without all the chaos of wearing the operator hats and doing all the things that I was once guilty of. And a lot of you feel like you're in this hamster wheel cycle, right? You understand that you have a capital responsibility that comes way before your ego. You check your ego out the door and you understand how to just be a good steward of your investors' hard-earned money and how to place it responsibly into these opportunities. You value the structure before you're going to scale. And you're a decision maker, respecting the process, being professional, doing this with precision and like taking it out a step at a time. What do they say? A bite of an elephant. This is how you eat an elephant, one chunk at a time, right? Like you have to break off pieces one at a time. And this is what we're going to do for you. We're here to play the long game. This is a marathon. We're not chasing quick wins. This does not happen overnight. 2 years may feel like an overnight success, but it is not. There was so much work and investment and time and money put into this to be able to compound our journey and scale to where we are to over 600 units today, right? So this is not a quick win. So Fund of Funds formula. Are we ready? This is starting January 15th. This is less than a week away, guys. We're starting live access on January 15th. What's next Thursday?
Next
Right?
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
1 week.
1 freaking week. So inside the formula, this is what we're going to get. Do we want to hear what we're going to be breaking down inside the formula? Drop an emoji. Tell me what you want. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to be doing intro to funds, fund of funds, but also we're going to be going over other different types of funds as well to give you a core foundational knowledge of that, the structure and strategy behind a fund of funds, building your team, building your, like, do you want to have a team like us? Sorry, I'm kind of boasting and bragging, but I absolutely have the right to. Like Carly and Christy and myself, like, we are a dream team, and I will shout that from the rooftops. I cannot do anything without these ladies. I can, but why would I want to? You know, we make life and business decisions together, and we support each other, and that we carry integrity, and we have the same mission, and we know our strengths, and we know where to play them and how to play them, and we stay out of each other's lane, right? Maybe we kind of veer into each other's lane here and there, but we know when to get out of the way, right? So we are a great team, and we want you to build that team for yourself too. How to vet operators. Oh my gosh, we got into this with Darren. You heard it from Lee. This is so incredibly vital and important as the landscape of multifamily and commercial real estate is changing. We're going to be changing. We're going to be updating. We're going to be getting new information and knowledge on how to vet and do things the right way. Obviously, raising capital. A lot of you have questions about, oh my gosh, I'm so inexperienced. I don't know what I'm doing. How are investors going to trust me? I already mentioned it before. You are here to gain leverage with operators. You are here to use those people as leverage and experience that you can deliver to your investors and say, yes, I'm a part of this because I took action. I'm building relationships with high-level people, and I want to put you in the same game and give you opportunity, right? This goes into investor relations. Once your fund of funds is set up and streamlined and you've raised the capital, we're doing streamline. It's streamlined. You're now investor relations. You're working through their quarterly distributions. You're staying in communication with them. This is all another piece of the pie that we teach you. And we go step by step, start to finish. Legal and compliance. Again, like, we're beating a dead horse here, but you know how important it is to be legal and compliant in these deals. Can I get some fire chats for that? Do we want some legal and compliance in our life when we're handling these big deals and 482 units and all the things, right? Risk management, marketing behind your capital raise. Marketing, so many of you are on social media and you're wanting to share about your journey, you're wanting to share about your deals. And when you come into these opportunities, you want to make sure that you're raising capital the right way in your marketing, right? You want to make sure that you're springboarding in the right direction versus like putting your foot in your mouth and then having the SEC come knock at your door and audit you just because you thought it would be fun to throw a social post on there before you knew you were ready to, right? So this is super important, and not a lot of people talk about it or think about it.
Or do it right. So don't do
Huh?
it. Or do it right. Just because
Or
you
do
see
it
it happening
right.
around you doesn't mean that you can go do that, or you should go do that. Because a lot
Right.
of people don't. So
And this is what we stress and teach you inside the Fund of Funds formula. And again, how to launch and scale. You go from your 43 to over 600 in 2 years, or whatever those numbers might be. So what you're going to get inside the lifetime membership, lifetime forever. You're never kicked out. There's no expiration, right? We get that. We love lifetime. Instant access to the full Fund of Funds formula, resources, templates, replays, all the things that we've done before, all the things that we're going to do in the future. Fund formula group community access. You can mingle and network and be a part and join in with our first funds formula members, our founders, like Lee, like Stephen, like Donna, like Ido, like Dr. Tammy, Kathy Sonner. All these amazing people are inside our funds formula group, and you can be with them too. We're going to be doing live monthly calls covering the Fund of Funds framework and related topics. And obviously, again, lifetime access to future education, updates and the content. So this is lifetime access for you. This is $34.97 for you, full lifetime, all the things, right? So this is a lot. This is the pivot. We've been going through this whole week with you guys. How many, by the way, how many have shown up to any of our other Zooms, our other strategy sessions that we've been having over the past week? We've been highlighting other founders, all the things, right? I love it. Richard and David love it. Okay, so we've had a few people come join in because they want to see our other founders be highlighted and everything. So this is what we've been getting. We've been getting so much feedback and questions, and we've been having a really special, fulfilling time with all of you. So with the feedback and with the questions that we've been getting, we're going to be adding on a 60-minute strategy call, an operator call with this lifetime. So you get a strategy call with us three, a 1-on-3 with us for 60 minutes, and special access to an operator call like Avina Jetty or another operator we might have on, and you get to pick their brain. I'm saying the forbidden phrase. I don't like saying pick your brain, but this is what it's about. This is the time. This is what it's all about, packaged in here. So again, we've been getting so much feedback, good questions, and all the things, and it's been really weighing in on us, and we're taking this to heart. And we're like, okay, what would we be doing if you could do a monthly membership? What would that feel like for you guys? What would you feel like if you could do this on a monthly level and take it a little bit more slower, not everything all at once? You want to take your time. You want to take a bite of the elephant chunk by chunk, right? You're still going to get the Funds Formula Group community access. You're going to get the live monthly calls and related topics, and you're going to be unlocking all the additional resources, right? Throw some fires in the chat if you want this broken down and going a little bit slower, pace by pace with us. Yes? I love that, Richard. I'm doing it no matter what. Okay, Richard, you're sending that to just us. Hit everyone so everyone can see your messages. We love it. Okay. So again, we have made a big decision. We think you guys are so amazing and action takers, and you want to hit the ground running in 2026 and just build your runway and not feel like this rush or pressured feeling. I don't want to feel rushed or pressured anytime. So Giselle, she's like, interesting. I love it. Tell me more. Tell me more things. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this. We're going to break down Fund to Funds formula into a live-led monthly membership. We're going to do the monthly access. We're not going to be doing it at the $34.97. If you want to be a $34.97 lifetime member and just have everything at your fingertips, that is totally for you. We love that. Go for
Everything,
it.
yeah, in the future and in the past.
In the future, the past, the present.
Everything that
all
we've
the
ever
things.
done forever and ever, and will ever do.
And remember, like, as we go along, do you think the Fund of Funds education and strategy is going to have tweaks and changes with the SEC and all of the things and compliance? Because we're going to be diving deep. We're going to be doing that work for you and delivering it inside the Fund of Funds formula so you can stay up to date, right? So again, if you're lifetime, you get that forever. But we're going to do something really special because we love your feedback and we've taken it to heart. We're going to be doing this at $97 a month for you. Alicia's like, speed it up, Carolyn, tell me. I want to go. Love it. $97 a month. You get all the things. You get it dripped out over time. You get the live monthly calls with us. You're still going to be getting the same education. It's just going to be at a paced out level for you, so you don't feel rushed, right? $97 a month. Who is game for this? Who is game for this? I want to pull some people up in the chat that are ready to take the action, because I've seen a lot of you over the past week, or I've answered DMs and chatted with you, and you're like, I'm on board. I want to do this. I'm like, I need the extra step. I need the extra education and support. I just don't know. I want to go full tilt into 2026.
And I want to be clear, just so everybody understands, these are live trainings with us. So when they are live trainings, you can pick our brains, you can lobotomize us each month. But the thing with the monthly access and why it's so little, or such a small thing is because you're just getting that month's thing. So each month, which we didn't tell, the longer you're in, the more you'll get another month open. So if you stay for, let's say you join right now and the first month is Funds of Funds Foundations, and you stay on for the next month, and you're going to be available to come for the second one, which might be structure and compliance. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. So you're basically, it's the same amount that you're paying, but you're paying as you go. And to be clear, you're just getting the live calls with us. Anything separate, like we were talking about the vetting framework that people get, you can get that. You just purchase it separately. So you can be like, I don't care about anything else but the vetting framework, and I want all the documents with that. You can do that. So we wanted to make it so it was like more digestible. If you buy everything at once, it might be, if you buy them all separately, you can do it by over time. So it's kind of like financing it. So I just want to be clear with you. So that 97 is only our live Zooms, only. Any supplemental material, you can choose which ones you want, and they're just a separate purchase.
And just to be clear, like one of the reasons we did this was because we structured this as like a live cohort, because that was the feedback that we had and how we built it in the past. We have had phenomenal, so many people reach out and they're like, this sounds amazing, but what if it's not quite the right fit? Like they felt like they really wanted to commit, but they weren't sure. They wanted to dip toes. And the way we were building it, there wasn't a way to dip toes. And it was like, you need to know that you're ready to go. You need to jump in, take full action. We're going fast. Everyone's building this together really fast, right? This allows everyone to dip toes in. So when we say a monthly membership, this is not like a, hey, here's an extended payment plan. This monthly membership is exactly, it's a pay as you go, cancel. If you get in and you join us on January 15th and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I don't think this is the right structure for me. There's not a further commitment. You know, you do not have to continue along. But what we are going to do is someone asked, what do you cover in this? We are going to cover all of the strategy. It's just a much slower on-ramp. So in an original, like what we have done with our founders, they had, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It was packed. It was intense. It was 2 hours every week that we were all getting together at least. We were covering all the things, giving it all in that short timeline. What we're now doing is breaking that up and saying once a month we will get together and we will go through, right? And so we're going to start same curriculum, if you will, same, end result of transformation. We're just taking a slower path to get there. And if you're like, you know what, I want a faster path, that's why we're opening up the lifetime access, giving you instant access to everything's already there so you can go fast. Or as you're now like, I want to accelerate, I want more resources, this is the piece I'm resonating with, we'll give you those resources as you go. It's up to you how much it resonates. And you get to scale at your speed instead of being forced in and, at a really high speed with everyone else. So I just wanted to make it clear that like this 97 isn't us just saying that you're paying 97 until you hit that 35. Your commitment today is literally just $97. If you want to join us, you want to come live, you want to check it out on January 15th and be a part of this community. It's like, come hang out with us for a month and let's see what we can do together.
And also, if you're those people that are like, I don't have time to sit and watch you guys talk. Like, I love how Alicia's like, let's go. I got stuff to do. I feel that, Alicia. And I don't think she's probably here anymore because she does. So when you do the lifetime membership, you get the past cohort that you can just 2x and like go through as you want. So that's all the past stuff. So if you're like, I got stuff to do, I don't have a year to wait to learn all this, then you don't have to.
Love it. Who's ready? Who's ready to get in? Who's ready to get in the car? We've been talking so much about cars.
I know. Keep it with the car thing. So any questions you guys have for us? Clarity that you have around it? Questions, comments, concerns? Mary Ty says yes.
Darren raises his hand. Mary, raise your hand if you have a question.
Darren raised his hand. Okay, Darren, let's finish what okay, let's get Darren. Darren, welcome back.
Hey, what's shaking?
What's shaking, bacon?
So yeah, I mean, girls, I'm definitely interested in the monthly. I almost feel like I need to have maybe a 15, 20 minute conversation with Carly to try to determine what would be what would be most appropriate for what I'm trying to accomplish in 2026, because I'm happy to sign up for the monthly.
Right.
And then if I decide, I don't know, in the next few weeks, I'm shifting gears or I'm going all in or whatever, like does that monthly fee just apply to if I go all in, or how's that work?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
We can apply it towards, if you want to upgrade, if you're like, okay, I want to go all in. I just want that all lifetime access, unlock everything now. I'm ready to go. We'll apply it towards it. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Carly, I think you shared, are you still able and willing to share the vetting list? Because I'm going to meet with this guy here in the next 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I
Love
can
it.
show you the vetting list. And then inside we have, this is our little baby one. Let me go see, where's our chat? I'll just put it in here, right here. So here, it's right here. So inside, just so you know, and that's why I wanted to keep things moving, because inside we have like, Christy has put together like a 70-page, I don't know how many pages is the vetting framework. So we haven't even gotten into what we've gotten, like, so what we have, this is just quick questions to ask. I just put it in the chat. Yeah, I think we both put two things, but we have two different, the vetting, they're both going to take you to the same thing. So, one just has a replay on it. So that's going to be helpful for you, just the questions just to ask. And then when you come in, you're going to have access. The thing is with this, and I want to really stress this, is these are live calls with us. We're not like, here, go watch replays from the other one. You can pick our brains, be like, hey, what's going on? And remember, when you do the lifetime one, you get a free strategy session with us. Once you guys are in there, even if it's like monthly, you can book strategy sessions with us. It's just a little bit more than if you bought the lifetime for free. So you can always book calls with us. And I want to be abundantly clear. This is an ongoing live training. This is not something where you're like, you can watch our replays. You can have the replay vault. Absolutely. If you you can purchase it separately. You can buy it in there. But I just want to be abundantly clear on this. This is us holding your hand. You learn from Carolyn, you learn from Christy, you learn from Carly, and you can ask us those questions. So maybe if you come in and you're like, okay, I've met with this guy, and let's just hypothetically say you get the 34, the lifetime one, you have one free strategy call with us. And you can be like, what do I do? What should I look at? And you can also go and look at our whole 2.5-hour training on vetting operators and what's really important about vetting them, and all the frameworks that come with that. So,
are you guys going to be doing these monthly calls like after 5 p.m. where people who have busy day jobs? Like I've got a crazy W-2 job, so
yes, they're
usually it might fluctuate, but typically they're evening calls, because we have same position of, we have a lot of people who do have a job and they would rather prefer it in the evening. That may, flex here and there, but usually it's in the evening. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And obviously if you don't get the evening session live, you're going to get the replay of it. Right.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, I appreciate this, and I've been interacting with Carly a little bit offline and whatnot. Yeah. So, I've just been so crazy busy that I haven't had the time to attend earlier this week, but I'm glad I was able to jump on today. So
yeah,
I'm glad you made it, and you've been really asking great questions. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I've been like Mach 3 upside down with my hair on fire, drinking from 4 fire hoses. So I'm trying to come up to speed as fast as I can. I mean, I things are, quite honestly, feel like they're moving faster than I can keep up with. So, right now I want to try to help this guy figure out how I can help him raise capital for this property in Lansing. I want to close my 4 unit and then, figure out what's next for, the month of February and beyond. So
yeah,
exciting times.
Well, I love it. Love it.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you.
Giselle, can we pull you up, because you've had some great questions in the chat? We'd love to chat with you again if you want to raise your hand, if you have a second to.
I'll unmute you and you can decide whether you want to talk to us or not.
We love answering these live.
Oh, she's got her hand raised.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Perfect.
My bad.
Hi, girls.
Ah,
Hi.
Hi. It's so great what you just offered with the monthly.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would take about 8 months, you said, to go through everything versus, joining the lifetime right away.
If you, right, if you go through it month by month, how we pace it out in that way, but if you want to accelerate a little bit more on your own, in your own time and on your own pace, you can unlock that
Oh,
for
great.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like, I love the first call, but I want to get 2 and 3, like I'm gonna unlock that for myself and get that going. So, and then of course you can join our live calls in months 2 and 3 as well.
Great. Beautiful. Are the month, I'm trying to remember from when you had spoken about it before, are the month-to-month calls kind of like a group chat too, in a sense, or is it just the teaching?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're all,
It's
you can come in and raise your hand, like it's live and we're not just, it's just our faces and we're teaching to a blank screen, you know what I mean? Like we're answering questions. We want to see your faces, we want cameras on, we want engagement. Yeah, all the things.
So is that also for the lifetime? So if you join lifetime and you
oh, you
had,
get it all.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
get it
okay.
all.
So it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
stage you're at, type
Nope.
of thing.
Exactly. You could be like, I'm unlocking it all, but I'm still joining each month and
Right.
all of that. And then you're able to add the cool thing with that is you could be binging over here, consuming,
Right.
and then as you have questions on certain ones as we're covering those live, then it's that opportunity of like, okay, this is like filling in the gaps and I can ask questions live. But yeah, we do it in kind of like a Zoom format. If you've been on our other Zooms before, our energy comes from interacting with all of you. We are not ones that like to just sit up here and yap at you. I know we do a lot of that as part of the education, but we like to like pull in, interact, get questions. So a lot of the time there's a lot of Q&A that goes into those too, and just making sure that all these concepts are like really making sense.
Nice. That's good. There wasn't any other group on the side, like group chat or Facebook group
Yeah.
for all of us.
There
No.
is. I can share my
Yeah.
screen and kind of, do you want me to give you like a little sneak peek and see what you guys see in there? There's like it's like a little group where you guys can chat with each other. You guys can message with each other. You can ask questions
Okay.
in the thing. You guys can have access to everything and you guys can get to know each other.
Are you guys part of that too? Do you kind of step in
Oh
sometimes?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
we're all in there. That's the
Okay.
whole thing. Yep, you get all the trainings in there, you get the replays in there, you get all the resources in there.
Right. Right,
Everything is one nice little compartment.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you, girls.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Hope to see you in there. Would love it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions, you guys? There was some good questions in the chat. Someone asked about how this helps with tax purposes. I don't know if we ever got to that question, or if you're still here, but
I think it was Tyler's question potentially.
yeah.
I'm not sure if they're still in the chat though.
Yeah. If you are, you can come up. We'd be happy to address that. I want to make sure I understand like what you mean by tax. Like there's so many different implications of taxes, like who your taxes for who and how, and all of the things. We can certainly get into that, but we need more clarity around that question. One of the questions I saw earlier, I don't know if Katie is still here, Katie French, but she was asking, is this debt? Is this equity? The beauty of this, like the way we structure it, it's an equity, and we do these different funds. But this is a launch pad. So we teach you the basics. So as you learned from Lee, he used a lot of the things that he learned inside Funds Formula to then go and he was like, I actually want to be the operator. And everything that we were preparing actually prepared him to be an operator on 123. Then he said, I can scale and now get into this while I'm getting into this big deal. I can now further scale and have someone else do all the heavy lifting and I'll just bring capital and shoot it this way and use the fund of funds formula. So like he's executing in different ways using the same base information, right? The same training, the same tools, the resources, and just choosing different paths. So this is really something that is versatile in that sense. And it's like if you're raising capital, like this is what we teach inside of the funds formula is really special and helps you, as everyone keeps saying, do it the right way, how to do it in scale and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any other questions before that's time with you today, this whole week, all the questions?
Yes. Well, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah.
So honored that you guys wanted to learn from us and that we can help you guys. So thank you for being here. And we hopefully will see you guys in there. We start on next Thursday. So live. So if you join this one, you'll get the foundations and we'll get started on Thursday live. You can ask all your questions. You're right into this place. So
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Feel free to shoot us an email if you have questions, anything comes up after. We're excited to see you next Thursday.
all right.
Thanks.